Hello, it's Amy with Just a Little Ink. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And today I'd like to share with you a very simple thank you card that I put together for my club customers for the month of June, but it's using the Cup of Tea stamp set as well as the Stylish Shapes dies out of our annual catalog. The Cup of Tea bundle found on page 13 of our annual catalog has been a very popular bundle, and so you want to grab it as soon as you can. I'm also going to be using the coordinating Tea Boutique 6x6 designer series paper for this, and the Stylish Shapes dies can be found on page 175. Lots and lots of fun shapes, ones that are very, very useful. I am using the second to the smallest of the squares, as well as a banner die, and they are just super, super fun. So let me show you how fast and easy this stamp set goes together. And if you're looking for supplies, you can order anytime on my website, justalittleink.stampinup.net. And you can use the host code that's good through the end of this month. That's just a couple more days. If your order is under $150. If it's over $150 or at $150 or over, you receive host benefits from Stampin' Up, and so you don't want to use that code. So what you'll want for this project: half a sheet of basic white thick cardstock, 5.5 inches by 8.5, scored in the half, in the middle, excuse me, at 4 1/4. You'll want a quarter sheet, just a little bit shy, of basic white cardstock. You could use the thick, 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I'm using a piece of that Tea Boutique 6x6 designer series paper. All our papers are two-sided. This one I cut at 1 1/4 inches by 4 inches. And then I have a couple pieces here. I have, of course, my piece of basic white that I have cut using that die, but you're going to need a piece that's about 1.5 inches square. And then for your banner, I used a piece of Orchid Opulence. One of our brand new in colors and one that I love, and it should be about 1 1/4 inches. It should be 1 inch by 2 1/4 inches. And then I'm using some Orchid Opulence ink. So let's get going here to show you absolutely how fast this goes together. And you could make it more involved if you wanted, but sometimes just having something simple is exactly what you need. So I'm going to use my Orchid Opulence. I'm using the thank you from this stamp set. I'm stamping it in the center of that square. And I'm going to attach it using my Stampin' Seal. I'm going to put just a little bit right down the middle of it, enough to kind of hold my banner. Offset the difference, split it in the middle here. And I'm going to use some of our Stampin' Dimensionals. You only really need a couple of them. Then I'm going to take my designer series paper, this beautiful Tea Boutique, and you could have the teacup showing. You choose what you want. You could make so many different greetings for different occasions using this set. So I'm going to put it toward the top third, line up my ends. See how well I did on my cutting. There we go. Then to give some interest, it's a very basic technique. I'm pulling out my Stampin' Right marker that's also in Orchid Opulence. You can only buy these in sets. That's with all of our Stampin' Right markers, but the in colors, this is from the 2022 to 2024 in colors, come in a set of 5 for, I believe it's $15. So I'm using the brush end there is a writing end on the other side. And all I'm doing is coming along that edge and inking it up so that it gives a little bit of color on the edge. I don't want it on the front at all. And you'll see what this does. This is a real simple technique if you don't want to add extra weight with layers of cardstock. You see how it sets it off just a little bit from my card base. So then I'm going to fold my card base in half, pull out my trusty bone folder, and then I want to pop this up with some dimensionals. You could put it down flat. So if you don't want the extra dimension, you certainly don't need to. But I kind of like how that pops up. And then a little trick that helps keep that dimension from being too much is put a little bit of your adhesive right in the center. That helps in your mailing. So I'll turn this towards the front, center my layer on the front, take off my dimensionals, and just like this, you have a super simple thank you card in no time flat. Thank you for joining me. Again, if you need any of these supplies, you can find them on my website. I'll have all of the measurements both in the description of this video as well as on my blog, justalittleink.com. Thanks again for joining me. See you again next time.